Come on in, folks. New leaked video. Bryan Kohberger in his White Hyundai Elantra, zooming in and out of the 1122 King Road neighborhood a little bit before the murders occurred in Moscow, Idaho, November 12th, 2022. Kohberger seen on surveillance in a White Hyundai Elantra taken by the neighbors at 1112 King Road, next door to 1122 King Road. And guess what, folks? Those neighbors, the ring camera, might be testifying against Bryan Kohberger at trial. This ring camera is definitely going to be used against him. Now, I know a lot of you want to know, how did this get leaked? How did this get leaked? Well, it's because the individuals that had access to it in that 1112 King Road shared it with some of the media. Probably shared it with Dateline, who has a big special coming out Friday night. Stay tuned to that. We love our Dateline, right? Dateline gets the goods. But let me share a preview of Dateline. Also, I want to share with you where this surveillance footage occurred and show you the ring camera itself, because police, right after the 1122 King Road murders in that morning hours, went door to door and they got the ring camera. They got the ring camera because it wasn't there when I went back there a month later after the murders happened. The ring camera outside the home was gone, but it was there before. So let me share that and also this Dateline preview about what's going on with the Bryan Kohberger case. A lot going on. Check it out.
In this house, just steps from campus, in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students, Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xander Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were stabbed to death. Their accused killer, Bryan Kohberger, faces trial this summer. He's pleaded not guilty. For the last 2.5 years, Dateline has been on the ground, reporting, gathering, and learning from people with direct knowledge of the case. We've obtained things that have never before been seen publicly, like these security videos from a camera on a house near the murder scene, videos that show a white sedan, a car that investigators believe was driven by Bryan Kohberger, making repeated passes at the King Road house that night before the murders. With evidence like this and our reporting, we have assembled a timeline for the weeks, months, and days before and after the murders. Starting with a pool party Kohberger attended in July, just after he moved to the area in pursuit of his PhD in criminology. An exclusive interview with a woman who exchanged numbers with Kohberger, then did not return his text.
You know, the universe intervened and for whatever reason just distracted me from further engaging in that interaction.
We'll also reveal records from Kohberger's cell phone that are in the possession of law enforcement and Google searches regarding the serial killer Ted Bundy. We have also seen these: dozens of photos in Kohberger's cell phone, browsing history, women from Washington State and the University of Idaho, including close friends of the King Road victims. Dateline has also obtained records showing the details of what an FBI cell phone expert has claimed to be, in the month before the murders, 23 occasions when Kohberger's phone connected to a cell tower, providing coverage to within 100 meters of the house at 1122 King Road. And in the hours after the murders, details of the timing of phone calls Bryan Kohberger made to a phone linked to his parents just before the controversial selfie he took. And we'll talk to the mother whose daughter was supposed to be staying in the house the night of the murders, but a change of plans may have saved her daughter's life.
How soon was it that you thought, my God, she was going to be there?
I didn't think about that right away.
Oh.
All I could think about was the kids.
Makes you sad too, doesn't it?
It does. Sorry.
So many damaged families. Angela Nevejas told us that her daughter Ashlyn, Maddie Mogan's best friend, moved away from Idaho and now refuses to come home to visit because of the trauma associated with the murders. She's hoping some of that may change and Ashlyn will start to grieve after Bryan Kohberger's trial. Back to you,
Greg and Savannah.
Such a heartbreaking story, Keith. Thank you. And we know we'll have more on Dateline. We'll look forward to that. I want to turn now to NBC senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett, who's here. You follow this very closely, too. And now we're starting to see some of the case that the prosecution plans to present. What do you think is the significance and how compelling will it be to a jury?
Yeah, there's no question you can't watch that and not think the prosecution has a very strong case here. But there are defenses that Kohberger's team can offer. It's just a question if the jury finds them convincing. So on the white sedan, for instance, nobody sees Kohberger get in and out of that car. Nobody even sees him leave the house. All you have is a surviving roommate seeing bushy eyebrows, but not actually IDing Kohberger there. On the cell phone tower, they can put up an expert to say cell phone towers are not that accurate. We already know that they're going to say he liked to drive around at night, and so there's nothing that suggests that he was actually casing the joint, as that's basically the prosecution's theory there. Googling Ted Bundy, that does not look good, right? Objectively, that does not look good, but he's a criminology student, and it's not a crime to Google serial killers.
Laura Jarrett doing her best defense attorney this morning. And you know, you find in trials, you know, any particular piece of evidence can be batted down, but sometimes it's the totality of the evidence.
And of course, the biggest piece is that his DNA is found in the crime scene, and the defense is going to have to try to explain that, according to prosecutors.
What about motive, Laura? The fact that even now, a couple years after the murders themselves, no motive has been presented.
I think I've always found that curious. Jurors like to attach to a story, and I think they're going to want to at least hear what the state has to offer on that. And I think by the time we get to trial, prosecutors are going to have something. Was it stalking? Did he target them? They're going to want to understand what the prosecution's theory is. Why did he pick these particular students?
But they don't have, do they have to?
No,
okay.
They do not have to offer a motive. We should be clear about that. That's not a part of the case, but I'm just saying as they're laying it out to flesh it out, they might want to.
Makes sense, Laura. Thank you so much. Sure. And Craig getting his court TV on. I love it.
I love being...
Oh, so we are definitely watching Dateline because a lot is coming out. As they said, Ashlyn Couch, a roommate that was once living there, was supposed to be there and is so traumatized. Ashlyn Couch is not even coming back to Idaho. And then we're talking about Kohberger's timeline, pool parties, his obsession with Ted Bundy. A lot of things on Dateline with this case. I can't wait. We will definitely talk and review about that. But check this out right here. This is outside of the 1112 King Road, the ring camera.
Remember, they had some sort of ring camera footage up there, possibly at the door. I don't see it there anymore. Cul-de-sac.
And there will be other surveillance all around the 1122 King Road neighborhood, before and after the murders. It's just a pile of evidence against Bryan Christopher Kohberger. I will say, me and Magnolia plan to cover this case extensively, boots on the ground in Boise, Idaho, where this trial is scheduled to take place at the end of the summer 2025. Probably about the beginning of August after a jury gets impaneled. It's rocking and rolling. You're talking about a 3-month trial, which we will be there every day, all day, outside the courthouse, inside the courthouse, in-depth knowledge of what's going on. This is the channel to subscribe. We've been there from day one, literally, scoping out the area before Kohberger was even caught, and have done numerous boots on the ground reporting, not just in Moscow, Idaho, but also Bryan Kohberger's Poconos family neighborhood. Check out the playlist for sure. But will the case get stopped in any way? And I say that because they had a secret hearing, as you know, the other day, a sealed hearing, right? Just Kohberger, the prosecutor's defense, all of them together no cameras in the courtroom. They were talking about Kohberger's mental state. His defense has said that he suffers from autism and doesn't understand certain things. And the prosecution now wants to get their own people to evaluate Kohberger to counter their assessment, right? Each side gets an assessment. We'll see what happens with that. But as far as this case getting delayed, I do think there is a possibility Bryan Kohberger's defense might put forward a motion saying he doesn't understand the nature of the proceedings to stall this out, or maybe because he's not cooperating with his lawyers, as we previously discussed. His lawyers know he's cooked. His lawyers know he doesn't have an alibi, doesn't have corroborating witnesses that can place him not at 1122 King Road during those early morning hours. They know he's guilty. They tried their best to try to get the death penalty off their table. I understand they're doing their job, right, because they're public defenders. And if Kohberger's saying he's innocent, the lawyers have to go by what he says, right? That's how it's supposed to be. But is it supposed to be like that? Will it be supposed to be? Will it be like that? And I say that because there could be a possibility down the line where there could be Ann Taylor submitting a motion saying Kohberger doesn't understand what's going on and there's a breakdown of communications between us and him. That hasn't happened yet, but I suspect that could be a possibility. The last maybe step to try to stop this on Kohberger's defense. But if not, full speed ahead, right? The 15th, all parties are going to get together around the mid-month, talking about pre-trial conference. They actually having a pre-trial conference for all media outlets. Media outlets like myself, though they're the clerk of court and the administration there wants to talk to all the journalists before and just let us know the expectations in this case. But we're following this case extensively on JLR Investigates. Sub the channel, hit the notification button. You definitely don't want to miss our channel when we're there and seeing who goes in and out of the courtroom. Why check out anybody else that's not there when you can check out somebody that's there actually seeing what's going on? And we do our best, boots on the ground. Trust me. We'll talk soon. JLR Investigates. Stay tuned.